Running around with my head cut off. Welcome to the post show. You wonder why I greeted you that way is because I go right from the live show to the post show. I did buy myself some time. I normally use the same timer and then edit it down to 5 minutes. And then I noticed tonight that I left the timer being 7 minutes long. So I apologize for making you guys wait a couple more minutes, but thank you for joining me in the post show. The post show is after the live show. The live show we just finished. If you didn't get a chance to be a part of that, if you're watching this either live or recorded later, it was all about the new HyperDeck Shuttle HD that Blackmagic Design announced on the 18th of April, 2022. And we talked about that, showed some pictures from the website, gave me my insights, even gave it a score tonight in the chat. And you can watch to the very end and see some of the scores that other people gave it from a 1 to 10. And in the post show, I like to share not only some of the things that I'm doing in the studio, the behind the scenes things, but even projects that I work on here in the studio. So you have things that I put on the shelf. There's different lights and stuff that I use. And behind me tonight, right behind me, is a kind of a mocked up version of my Jada 2022 Batmobile with the penguin in the scene and Batman in the scene, both in the car and outside of the car, trying to capture kind of two things in this display. And again, I wanted to kind of take my love for Batman and see if I could meld it with the modern Batman for both my oldest son, Christopher, who's really into that movie. I think he watched it again last night when it was released on one of the local networks that you can use via app. And he also went to the theater 3 times. I went with him twice. And so shout out to the movie. And I've always been a fan of this Batman right here, the 1966 Batman. And you can see I have a autographed gift that was given to me by actually one of our listeners. And then below that, a book about the 1966 TV series and the Blu-ray there. I have a Batmobile here on my shelf from 1966. And that's always been kind of the car that captured my attention. I don't know if you're into cars, if what you're into as a hobby outside of what you're doing when it comes to video production or live streaming. But it's exciting to be able to, in the post-show, share a little of the behind the scenes rather than having a whole nother channel. I've had my puppets on this post show. Again, they're not going to be with us tonight. I really want to focus in on this do-it-yourself project, as well as a couple other things that are going to be happening behind the scenes. Many of you guys know that I have a production company called Life Journey Production Studios, and I have new clients. I'm working with people that live stream. I'm working with venues. I have a new client that has a venue where they do recording each week and then they edit it and then they put it up on their Facebook page. And I'm going to be helping them go live or at least do live, better quality recording. They're going to have to get a different internet service to be able to go live, but that's all in the works. And as I work with some of those venues, you learn about different products and you learn about different things, and I want to share some of those behind the scenes things. So let's just bring the chat on the air here and say hi again. Great to see you, Freddie, here in the post show. And also hello, TVJ, and LT AK Allen is here. The 1966 Batman rules. It's my favorite as well. Yeah, and I haven't really made an adjustment to a new Batmobile, but I do have to say I really enjoyed the movie and I really enjoyed this project, and I'm still in the middle of it. Tomorrow's kind of the day where we're going to wrap up the main design, where I get a chance to glue everything together, but I also need to figure out the wiring, and we'll talk about that tonight. But I do want to show you guys about 11-minute video tonight, so I hope you'll tolerate that. I'm going to play that from my HyperDeck, so thank you so much. It's pronounced Lieutenant A.K. Allen. You know, I'll get this. I think this is not the first time you told me that, so it's Lieutenant A.K. Allen. I need to practice that. Lieutenant A.K. Allen, thank you for letting me know that. 20 people watched the show. The numbers are getting better. Thank you, Freddie, for pointing that out. And it's great to to be able to live stream and have this ability and also see people show up. And obviously that topic was hot. There's people that are already doing videos. I wanted to do a live stream to talk about that HyperDeck shuttle. And so we did. And we may be touching base that device in the future. But until then, I really want to focus in on this DIY project. So here is a bat sign that I purchased. It's USB powered, and that's a part of my display. Here's kind of a rough look at us figuring out exactly where we wanted the Batmobile to be positioned, and we had more layers of paint to do on this box, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as tonight progresses. So obviously I can buy a Batmobile. Let me grab this real quick. Like this. This is the Jada Batmobile, which I have on here. Jazz Inc. is doing one that's like $1,400. It's probably it's a 1/6 scale, so it's this big. And you can go to Jazz Inc. and check that out. He's also going to do the new Batmobile. It's about $1,400. It will light up and all kinds of things. And you can buy those. I wanted to do something as a display with this Batmobile. And there's the famous scene where the Batmobile crushes through a semi or flies over a semi off of a car dolly trailer that happens to turn around perfect instead of crashing into the semi that spins over and explodes and not losing his life. Batman somehow mysteriously is able to fly over. And it's a famous scene. It's also right before the intermission. And the penguin is blown away that Batman survives. And it's just a great scene. And it influenced everything. I mean, even this graphic that you see for the movie, the logo is influenced by that fireball that takes place at that moment in the deal. So we'll hit record here. And what I want to do is just tell you that we started this project. I started buying all the pieces. I took my wife with me shopping here locally, found some LED lights that I thought I could use, ended up buying another set, and they actually have an infrared battery operated box, so I can turn it on and turn it off, and I may wire those together. That's not my cup of tea. And they all have different currents of power. The Batmobile uses these small little batteries, and similar to like watch batteries. So it has a different ampage and voltage than does the little 3 AA battery packs that I have, as well as the sign that's on this display. And you guys are going to see it here in a minute after I show you the DIY video. And you know, I would like to wire it all together and be able to turn it on and turn it off right here in the studio. And I want to put it up there on the second shelf. That was the whole idea. And even though it is going to hang out a little bit, that's where I want it to be. That's going to be a good view of the Batmobile, and it's just going to be in the background. But I want it to have a story, and I like to have a story behind some of the things that I have in here. And I've done other DIY projects that I've shared here on the channel. I did a waterfall in my backyard, and we'll visit that waterfall again, hopefully maybe even next week with Matt live with the Blackmagic Design Pocket 6K Pro. We may go out there because we'll have the Teradek wireless receiver and transmitter with us, and we may go out there and may get that. The weather turned crazy last week, so we had snow, so it's not ready to de-winterize the waterfall, but I was hoping to have it live, but we'll go somewhere with that. But the cool thing is some of these DIY projects are going to be in the studio where you guys can see them and be on display in the background, and you'll know the background, you'll know the story because you came to the post show and saw some of those things. So I'm going to switch discs here, and I want to play this clip for you. From my HyperDeck, this has got my grandson Dominic in it, and it also has my oldest boy Christopher, and they are both going to talk a little bit. They both were involved in the project at different times. Again, going to be finishing the project tomorrow. Going to talk to you guys about where it's at right now. And again, it's on the table behind me, and I'm going to take my remote camera, and you guys are going to see that here in a little bit. But I want you to see kind of behind the scenes. We're in the garage putting the pieces together. The Batmobile came Saturday morning from Jada in the box. And so we're going to get that out of the box. We're going to start building this display, and you're going to see most of the first part of the construction. And then you're going to be able to see some of it up close tonight in person right here live. And then I'm going to produce a video out of all of this footage that's going to be up on my channel for whoever is interested in that DIY project. So let's look at the chat before we roll that video. Oh, let me talk about the camera. Thank you, Freddie. I forgot again in the live show. I ordered from eBay a Sony, a Canon EOS R. It was a price too good to be true. It was supposed to come by the 16th. On day 3, I got an alert from eBay saying that they had to take the item down, that my order was canceled after I paid for it. I had to wait. I contacted eBay. They told me I had to wait until the delivery date, which was the 16th, which was Saturday. So on Sunday, I contacted eBay again. They started a claim. Now I have to wait. The person that posted this Canon camera has 3 days to respond to me or to eBay, what they're going to do about it. And then eBay is going to give me my money back. It's guaranteed. It was a business account, and it has a money back guarantee up to $1,000. And I spent just under $1,000. So Freddie, to answer that question is I don't have that camera here yet. So because I got the adapter. The adapter is right here to adapt my lenses to a Canon camera. So I ordered this, was $100. It came from eBay, no problem. But I'm not going to be able to get that EOS R, and they're like $400, $500 more than I paid if I decide to get one still. So we'll see what's going to happen with the camera, but that's just one of the challenges of ordering on eBay. So be careful when you order on there. And I also ordered the adapter from Adorama. They have an eBay store, and I ordered it from them. And I bought directly from Adorama before. They're a great company, and I had no issues with them. Great communication, but I got absolutely zero communication from the person that posted this brand new in the box Canon EOS R, brand new for under $1,000. And that's what got me excited, because that was a great price. But if you don't ever get one, again, there's no value at all. So hopefully I'll get all that money back, because I saved for a while to be able to purchase that camera. I'll have to save some more before I get one. So that was going to replace my Canon 5D Mark III, which is my overhead camera here, and it times out. So it's been out since about halfway through my live show, but I can cut to that camera when it's live. And it's not live. So occasionally it doesn't even fire up like it's supposed to. And I have to restart my, try that again, see if it comes on here. There it is. So I'll cut to that real quick so you guys can see it. That's the camera I'm going to replace. It's not even adjusted right now. So normally I have my A10 Mini Pro set for chat, and there you can see the chat. And then that's overlaid on the screen by using my upstream key. And then I can take that off the air with a macro, or on the air with a macro. And I can also take it on and off the air right here on my Wacom tablet. And you can see that in that view on my desk. And that's what I'm monitoring the chat with. So again, there's always tools and things that we're getting to run our live streams, right? From microphones like the SM7B to cameras for different angles. I even have the face cam, which is my sky cam that I could cut to. But again, there's also things that I want in the background just to create some ambiance in here. And it's a little backstory about who I am and what I'm passionate about. And I've loved Batman since I was a kid. I'm also a Spider-Man fan. But again, I've really focused in on the 1966 Batman. That's been my absolute favorite Batman all time. But who knows? I might have a new favorite. We'll see. It'll take time before we get there. So let me roll this clip. Again, it's like 11 and a half minutes of us building this together in the garage. You're going to hear from Dominic first, and then later, Christopher joins me towards the end and gets to see it more put together. In fact, we kind of put it together so my family could see it, and then I took it back apart and did some spray painting, put it back together, and now I have the newest version behind me, which we'll look at after we get done with this video. So, okay, let me cut to camera 7 and turn this off. Turn the chat off, and I'm going to turn my logo off, and here we go. Enjoy this video. There is no audio at first, so just bear with me here. With my grandson Dominic. Say hi, Dominic.
Hi.
So we are going to build what?
The Batmobile jumping over the sign, right?
No.
What?
We got a sign, so we're going to have the sign in this shot. There it is right there. And then Dom's going to hold up the Batmobile here so you guys can see it. This is the Jada 1/18 scale Batmobile. We're going to unbox it, and you guys are going to, you can put that down now. You guys are going to see the behind the scenes of this going together. And so Dom's going to help me, and Christopher is going to get involved as well, probably tomorrow afternoon. And it is April, and we're going to enjoy this because what's going on outside right now?
It's snowing.
And they're supposed to have an Easter egg hunt like right in the next half hour.
Yeah.
And it's snow on the grass here in Richland, Washington, which is crazy. So we're going to build it. We're going to have fire. We're going to have a display. We're going to have Batman. We're going to have the Batmobile. It's going to have LED lights. It's going to light up. And who knows, I might even add some Batmobile starting sound effects. What do you think?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
It's going to be cool. So enjoy this behind the scenes, and we'll check in with you ever so often during the build. And Christopher will be here as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Pull it out. Just pull it out. Oh. Okay, Don, we got it out of the box, and show them the car. That is so cool. A little closer to the camera there, bud. There you go. Spin it around. Pretty cool. There we go. Show them the back. Cool. Okay, now spin it again. We're back. So Dom, what have we done so far?
So far, we've screwed together the two black boards that we spray painted, and we screwed them together to make the.
Okay, show the back. The screws.
To make the back.
Okay, and here's some B-roll, and then what's going to go on that?
Right here is going to go the backdrop from the box.
Okay.
And then here, somewhere in the middle, is going to have the post, which is going to be holding up the Batmobile.
Okay. And then what goes up here?
And then up here is going to be the Batman sign. Well, right now, what we're doing is we're putting the screws in barely, so then we could put some black marker on the top, so then we could touch it with the white surface on here to know exactly where to screw the screws into. So then we can have that.
And then we'll drill through this to put our dowel and glue it in and set it in, and then that's going to be mounted to the Batmobile. And so this will hold the Batmobile up. We're going to use the plate that was already in the Batmobile because it's mounted on that plastic kind of road when it comes in the box. So cool, that's the next step. So here's a close-up of stuff we have right now. Okay, I'm here with my son Christopher. Say hi.
What's up?
We are in the garage, and so this is kind of, it's not all done yet, but we wanted to give you an update. So, first of all, what did you think when you got here in the middle of the project?
I thought it was cool.
So, what did we do today?
So there's LED lights that are on the edging. So there's a box under here, and there's LED lights that were going around it. And we were trying to figure out what to do with the LED lights. Then he had another box sitting on the ground, and so in order to get like a smoke fire effect and hide the LED lights, we just put a bigger box by cutting the back off over the front box, so now there can be smoke in there that's being lit up by the LEDs that are in when you can't see.
So in reality, they're like 3 stackable boxes, and I used the 2 smaller ones, and we were just using the big box to play with smoke and fire and try to figure out what to do, and he came up with the idea of rimming this around. So literally I cut the back of the box off, and so talk about what we did with Batman that time.
So then, so we pushed the stuffing stuff back so it looks like the road, and we put more in the box we added. This is a scale Batman, scale to the Batmobile. And so we just kind of added it in. It has a really cool effect in the dark because it looks like this is all smoke and fire coming out with the light hitting Batman from back here, silhouetting him in the freezer. It's really cool.
So we're going to turn the lights off. Again, we're still putting it together. It's not finalized, but we wanted to give you guys a sneak peek here on the channel. So we're going to hit the lights and show you guys what it looks like when we hit the lights. Got to shut the garage door. So we'll be right back with it all lit up. Okay, here it is without the sign on. And now we'll light up the sign. This will all be wired together eventually, guys. There you go. Okay, there it is, all lit up. We'll rotate the table just a little bit so you guys can see some angles on this. I'm gonna have Christopher put a little light on the front so you guys can see the silhouette of the bat on the front. Any last words, Chris? Crazy background sound. I know. I apologize for that. That was a mistake in the video edit. So I've got my handy cam here. Microphone should be back on. It looks like the audio is good. And I am going to rotate around here and let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. I'm going to do the reveal. So here we go. I've got the Batmobile. You can see the signs lit up. I got lights on in here, so you're not seeing it without the lights on. But I can actually hold this, and then what you were hearing in the background is this. That's the sound effect of the Batmobile. That track gets obnoxious after a while, but that is the Batmobile. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little behind the scenes DIY build. But again, so I'm going to actually pick this up and bring it over here. So hang tight. So here we go, up close and personal. Batman fell over because he's not attached yet, but I actually bought these 3 stackable boxes, and it was Christopher's idea to put this outside box on. I still got to attach all of the stuffing. That's what gives it the ability to look like smoke and fire, and even cooler with the lights out. And there's some spray paint that needs to be done. I still need to glue it together. I still need to do some wiring together with LED lights. You can see the sensors and the battery packs hanging there. They'll be mounted in the back, and we'll figure out exactly how to get it all powered up. I unplugged the USB cable from the sign so I could pick it up, but the Batmobile is lit up and it's actually mounted, and I hope you guys appreciate getting a chance to see that up close and personal. And we'll do this real quick. Oh, and I have auto ISO on my camera, so that's not going to help me. But again, I'll do more when we get it all put together and all done, and we'll have that DIY video together. So hope you guys enjoyed that behind the scenes look. Tell me what you think in the chat. I appreciate. Freddie says he's glad I didn't. Hang on a second. See what's going on here with my chat. Try that again. TVJ says he's got to figure out what to do with his backdrop. And again, I think you got to kind of make it personal and make it something about yourself. I have layers of lights, and I turn some of those lights off. Like I can turn my backlights back on now. And so they just came on, and that shines in the background to give this shot depth. And also bring my TV on. And I usually go into this picture frame mode. So having the backdrop, having some depth, having some lighting is really, really important for your set. And then I actually have one more layer of light I don't have on tonight. These are my Godox lights. And when I turn them on, it gets even hotter, but it adds more light in the room. So there's more light going back in the room now. And there's a little bit of light coming on the back of my extra TV set to create some rim light. And that's what this light is. And it's so subtle. A lot of times I'll leave it off just because it warms up the room. But you got to have something in your room. So I would recommend that you have some kind of display behind you. Freddie said that he's glad I didn't lose my money. I still got to get my refund. We'll wait till it hits my bank account, and hopefully we'll see that by the weekend. We'll see. Thank you, Noel. It's good to have you here in the live post show and the behind the scenes. So thank you very much. Glad that you liked it. And we'll see. I may even build one of these when we hit 2,000 subscribers and mail it to someone. We'll see. I'm thinking about doing that. And we're actually thinking about building a motorcycle one for my oldest son. And you saw Christopher at the very end. Dominic would probably do a different character superhero if we were going to do a display like that. But these are fun projects that you can do. And that was my grandson and my son. So 3 generations building this display. And it was great to have them part of it and then share it with my family. The best I could put it together on Sunday afternoon as the family was together for the holiday. Freddie says, very cool. Stop and think. Just tuned in. Hank from Bluffton, South Carolina, joining in the progress. So get a chance to see. Hopefully you got to see the Batmobile. And I did a video of the behind the scenes. It's not all the behind the scenes. There'll be more B-roll. And that'll be posted on my channel here once the project's all done. And then some good quality close-up footage that I'll be shooting as well. Lieutenant A.K. Allen says, nice. And so again, that's just one thing you can do. I do want to add audio to it as well. Now that I had to listen to this in my video, and I apologize for that. I'm stuck with that in the live show. Again, this will play that track. And there's a scene where the Batmobile actually starts up and it's got that high screeching sound, and then it kicks into gear. And then that whole chase scene takes place after that. So again, a cool movie, cool idea for one more Batmobile here in the studio. And again, our studio is kind of bat crazy. I got Batman stuff all over, and I have other stuff as well, but we'll leave it at that tonight. So again, I wanted to just share that. That's again behind the scenes stuff going on here at Life Journey Production Studios. Also have been consulting and helping volunteer with this venue, and Matt will be here next week. We got a chance to pick the different parts of that kit for that camera. Canon Pocket Cinema K 6K Pro, Cinema Camera 6K Pro, and the Teradek Spark wireless 4K transmitter, as well as a DJI Ronin S2 that you're going to see, and a little harness that they can hold the DJI S in. They're using this as a backstage camera at their venue, so they can be wirelessly, even though they still have one power cord hooked up to them, I believe. But it gives them the ability to be a lot less tethered, and the camera footage is going to match their other Blackmagic Design cameras that they had. So they're slowly replacing all of their other brand cameras with all Blackmagic Design cameras. And so again, we'll talk about that next week in the live show at 4 o'clock. So if you're interested in seeing that camera, we'll have that whole kit here next week. And I'll give you an update on what progress I got done in the post show for the Batmobile, but we'll have other things to cover in the post show that I put off this week because of all of the new announcements from Blackmagic Design, and we'll get more from NAB. So I'm sure there's going to be other conversations that we're going to want to have next week and talk about and chat here on our live stream, both our live show at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time and our post show at 5:15 to 5:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as well. And again, more behind the scenes. So I shared I'm going to add another camera eventually to replace the Canon 5D Mark III. Then that's just going to be a photo camera. I probably will just keep it in a portable rig anytime I want to go out and shoot photographs. It's a great camera. The raw files are big enough for what I normally need for photography. And I do a lot of photography at clients. Even do some headshots. I do some very few product shots, but I do a lot of location shots, even some HDR photography, which is just a fancy terminology for putting different exposures together. And now cameras will do it automatically. You can also take those raw files and put them together in Photoshop, and even use software like Lightroom to be able to do HDR photographs. And that just gives you a deeper depth of field and better exposure on both the foreground and the background, depending on what your light looks like. So, and it's pretty heavy camera. So I still have my EOS R that I have right here, my B camera. It's on all the time when I'm live. I just rarely use it. I should have had it over on the Batmobile, but I didn't want to cut to it and expose the Batmobile before it was time. So I just left that camera off. And again, the table's perfectly positioned, so my body hides that for the live show, so no one probably saw that, and that's why I haven't been using my Skycam in tonight's live. So if you have an idea or something in the behind the scenes in the post show you'd like to see, please let me know. I did a tour of the studio. You've seen us working in the garage now. I've showed you guys footage of the waterfall in the backyard. And again, we're going to go mobile next week during the live show. Matt has a gig he has to be at, so he can't be in the post show, but he will be here next week for the 4 o'clock live show. We'll be on the table. We're going to be having a conversation, and he's going to take questions from you about live sound. So if you have any questions, he is a professional. He knows sound like no one else I know. And the history is my oldest son, Christopher, and him were in a band. He's a great drummer. So they're about the same age. They've known each other for years, and it's cool that we've been able to stay connected. And now I'm helping him in this venue to answer questions about video production, because that is the area that he's new to, but he still is very in the know when it comes to video production, because he's in charge of all of that multiple camera operation. Plus they do a separate mix for their live stream, which is pretty incredible to see up close and personal. So, and I should be able to get over there this week to get some footage of those locations so you guys can see that. And yeah, so I built a waterfall / fountain in my backyard last year. I actually had a client of my wife's that wanted to work off, he's a contractor, work off some of his bill. And we do that occasionally with this particular client. And so one of the projects I wanted to do was a fountain waterfall. I'll try to have a picture of that ready next week in the post show. I showed a video. I think if you go back in my live streams a while back, and I'll put a link in the description later tonight or maybe tomorrow of that waterfall DIY do-it-yourself project. And I didn't just do it by myself. I did it with family again, as well as with this contractor, and it was a blast. And it's winterized right now, but it's so I can relax on the back porch and enjoy the trickling water. And if you saw what they're doing with our beautiful view, hopefully I'll show you guys that next week. We have this beautiful hillside that's all being dug up right now, and they're putting in storage facility there. So my wife is just beside herself because we're losing part of our view out our back property, which is view property. There's no houses anywhere behind us. This is all happening on the other side of the road on a hill that's part of our vista out the backyard. So when I do show the waterfall again this year in the post show, you guys will see this new beautiful view that's developing behind us. So any other questions or things you'd like to see in the post show, or any other questions you'd like me to answer while we're in the live show tonight? Okay, so Lieutenant A.K. Allen says this: I solved my A10 Mini Extreme ISO SSD recording issue. I was using a 6-foot USB-C to USB-C and had to switch to a shorter and different USB-C. Solved it, FYI. Yeah, I've heard this, believe it or not, in the recent months about people having issues with poor quality USB-C cables or too long. Again, it's such a high rate of data now that we're transferring through these super fast SSDs. This one's rated at over 1,000 megabytes a second. I have another one here somewhere that I bought via another client, and it's like 1,500 megabytes a second. So I imagine that we're going to have to be very careful about the USB-C cables that we use for that. I typically use the ones that come in the kit, and I stay that short. Or you could use a Thunderbolt as well. They're even faster than these USB-Cs. And I do have a Thunderbolt hooked up to my BenQ monitor that occasionally I use because it seems to hook up easier because it's super fast, especially when I'm using that really fast SSD. And these are ScanDisk drives. And again, they just recently came out with the faster versions. They're not cheap, but I edit right on these, video and everything, and leave the video and all the files right here on these discs for my clients. So, okay, well, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the live show. Those of you that were with me earlier, those of you that are part of the post show, thanks for tolerating my love for Batman. I'm also a fan of some PC games, and I've done some unboxings here with my son. He's a PC gamer, and you might know what this little character is. He's a bobblehead. I've got Boba Fett up here on the shelf as well. I'll give you guys a quick tour of my shelf here because it is one of the things that we are adding to tonight. And I think I still have this camera live. Let's take the chat off the air and switch cameras here. And I am still live. So we will cut to this other view. Is it still live? Yeah, super source. Let's see if this works. My logo is whacked out, but I apologize for that. I'll show this to you anyway. So here's the shelf. So Robin's having a rest right now. He fell over earlier, but here's this shelf. Indiana Jones. Got these two characters, got the sky cam, and then we also have the top shelf here. It's not lit up tonight, but we got Millennial Falcon, we've got Boba Fett, more Batmobiles, and a drum set. I've got more Batmans, the Lego Batman, the little Joker there, a guitar, and then some of the boxes. And that's just the shelves right here behind me. Sorry about showing you my belly in the left camera, but that's the shelf. And so adding to the displays in here. And next week, I'm actually going to be filming. We've been on break. I'm going to be filming my wife's podcast. So the stuff has to come down. And then I put some of her stuff up when we're doing our podcast. So this room is always changing. It's always in flux. That's why I need to make sure when I wire together the new 2022 Batmobile display that it's very simple and I can take it down and put it back up, because I do shift things in the studio occasionally. So, well, again, guys, we've been on almost an hour in the post show. Is there anything else that you guys would like to chat about? Those are the main things I wanted to talk about, sharing this DIY build project together with two generations in my family, as well as sharing it with my other family. Maybe you have something that you're passionate about that's in your live stream, or you have behind you in your Zoom. I'd love to hear about it. Tony has shared and did a tour of his studio at Quick Tech Solutions. He's not in with us tonight in the post show, but he was with us in the live. So you can go check out some of the things that he has in his display. And Lieutenant A.K. Allen says that is the, oh, come on, guys. I need a 16 channel ISO extreme over there as well, but I still would have to change inputs. So again, Lieutenant A.K. Allen says that that's the type scan disc that he's using. And again, they're great little editing discs, and they're super fast, and they're not inexpensive either. So, well, guys, that's all I have, but I would be happy to answer any other questions or let you go to whatever else you have for you. I do want to encourage you to visit Blackmagic Design and check out their release video. Hopefully we'll see another one in a couple days. I would be ecstatic to hear more stuff happening. And I'm going to hit stop here so I can switch back to camera 7. There's the Batmobile, the Jada. And hopefully you guys watched that video earlier of us putting it together. So that was fun to shoot all that video footage. Did a fast edit today. I apologize for the crazy bat sound effects in the background. That was not supposed to be playing when Christopher was talking. So I'll have to fix that video when we do the final edit. So it's not happening. But again, that display is going to have sound effects as well that we'll be able to hopefully remote control and turn on when I'm showing it off to people when they come in the studio. So I'd love to see what you're doing in your studio. TVJ says, I used to work with my dad at the TV station. So cool doing things across generations. Yes, I agree. And I think it's one of the things that infuses you and makes you alive when you spend time with people younger and older than you, and you connect not only just with family, but with other people. I shared earlier that I was disappointed because I didn't get to go on this trip on Monday and connect with someone I worked with, but I will get to soon, and we'll get to spend an extended conversation on the highway, have dinner together. I'm looking forward to that. So I hope you'll do a project maybe with someone and share it and invite us to come to your channel and see what you're doing behind the scenes. That's why I have the post show, so that you guys can see more of the stuff going on behind Life Journey Production Studios and our regular live stream and the regular tech on the channel. So, okay, well, with that, unless you have any final things to say, I will say goodbye or adieu or good night. I hope that you guys have an amazing week. It will be interesting to see what the scope of things are going to look like after NAB. Find out what everybody's announcing and watch all of these crazy videos that are going to be all over YouTube and social media over the next 5 or 6 days as NAB takes place. We will be back here Tuesday at 4 p.m. with Matt Elliott, and then back with the post show at about 5:15 next Tuesday, Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully very, very soon. Outro. With my grandson, Dom.